So we have here the end products again, NADPH and the ATP. Now, this one, the ATP and the NADPH, will be used in the dark reaction later on. Now, aside from acyclic, there is also cyclic photophosphorylation. When you say cyclic, magbalik-balik lang ang electrons. There is no electron loss here. So here, when the sun strikes at photosystem 2, photosystem 1, the electrons from the chlorophyll will be energized and it's boosted up and they are excited and they go up to a higher level and it's accepted by the electron acceptor, carried by electron carriers, and they go back to where they come from. So they go back to photosystem 1. So there is no loss of electrons. So there is no need of water here. But what is generated here is ATP. This is done to generate more ATP to be used for dark reaction. Now here, in the dark reaction, we have the raw material that will be used, carbon dioxide. Again, water is used in the light reaction. Of course, the light is used here, plus of course the chlorophyll that traps the light. Okay? And here, dark reaction, of course, in the stroma. Asaan ang stroma? That's here. No? Now, what will happen to this carbon dioxide? Now, the 6 carbon molecules, carbon dioxide, so kanang inyong utot, inyong ginhawa, what you exhale, that will be trapped by, of course, by the molecule present in the leaves, no? Present in the chloroplast. In the leaves, we call this molecule as the RUBP or ribulose biphosphate. Now, this acceptance of this RUBP is activated rubisco. This is said to be catalyzed by rubisco. No? Rubisco, ang sarap ng feeling mo. So, you remember that because that enzyme, this rubisco, is the one that will speed up the reaction for the receiving of this carbon dioxide by this RUBP, kani ribulose biphosphate. Kani mo ni ang rubisco the enzyme nga mo activate for the formation of this 6 carbon compound. Now, when rubisco say catalyze the reaction for the receiving of your utot, your PERT, with this RUBP, then this, as soon as it is formed, this 6 carbon compound, this will immediately splits into 2 molecules of phosphoglyceric acid, or we call that as PGA. So, nganong nahimo na siyang 12? Because this is 6. So, once it is splitted, meaning na, duha na siya. So, 6 and 6. So, split na siya. This is 6 molecules of this, 6 molecules of this. So, times 2, you have 12. No? So, there are 12 molecules of PGA. Kaning PGA, 3 carbon compound lang ni siya. No? This one is 1, 2, 3. So, 3 carbon compound lang. No? Mo ni ang PGA. This comes from 6 carbon compound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, that one. Okay. Now, kani siya kaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this comes from RUBP. Kana siya, no? That comes from RUBP. Kani siya, this comes from CO2, carbon dioxide. And, of course, when it is catalyzed by rubisco, then this becomes 6 carbon compound, which immediately splits into 2 molecules. So, duha na siya ka molecules. No? So, duha ka molecules of PGA. So, of course, times 6, you have 12. That's why you have 12 phosphoglyceric acid. Now, this phosphoglyceric acid would be, would be converted into another molecule called, this is another 3 carbon compound. But this is phosphoglyceraldehyde. There are 12 molecules of this phosphoglyceraldehyde, which is of course this ATP and the NADPH from light reaction would be helping in the conversion of PGA to PGAL, or from phosphoglyceric acid to phosphoglyceraldehyde. You see? So if there is no light reaction, then there is no dark reaction. This occurs with light, with sunlight. This one without light. But these reactions, the photosynthesis occurs during daytime. This is during daytime, both. So, kanisha, this requires light. This one doesn't require light. What is required here in dark reaction are the NADPH and the ATP for the conversion of PGA to PGAL. Now, the phosphoglyceric acid, there are 12 of these. 10 of these molecules will go back to the cycle. Convert po siya into RUBP. So, maghulat for carbon dioxide. Now, the 2 molecules of PGAL will now be converted into glucose. So, C6H12O6. This is now our glucose. How plants make their food. You see? So, there is already food. Now, this glucose is the one that would be used by cell plants as energy source. And what is good for cell plants or for plant cells, they will not use all that they have produced. Some are stored in the form of starch. So we are enjoying eating mga food from plants, of course carbohydrate from plants. So out of this glucose, mo na ning himuon og proteins, himuon na og lipids sa plants and other organic compounds. So that is how plants make their own food. You see? So I hope you could understand this explanation. You see, class? So out of this simple raw material, so we have the raw material for dark reaction, carbon dioxide, and the end product of dark reaction is glucose. The raw materials for light reaction are water, light, and of course you have chlorophyll. And the end products are, we have ATP and the NADPH for the light reaction. And the overall raw materials for photosynthesis, we have water, carbon dioxide, light, and chlorophyll. These are the raw materials. And here, the overall end products of photosynthesis are glucose and oxygen. So class, you know what? The energy that, of course, the ultimate source of energy is sun. But this energy cannot be obtained by organisms. You cannot use this right away. So there is a need of converting this into chemical energy in the presence of glucose through the process of photosynthesis. So there is a need of converting it. That solar energy, even though you expose yourself to sunlight for the whole day, cannot be used as energy right away. That is unusable form. It has to be converted into usable form through the process of photosynthesis in the form of glucose. You see? So class, God made use of Christians to be transformers of the truth. Say, you know what? Those non-Christians don't know the truth yet. Now, Christians are considered, or say, representing this green plants which undergo photosynthesis. Meaning, these Christians are the one that will simplify the truth to the non-Christians so that they can avail the eternal life. No? So that is how the spiritual implication is. Okay? So thank you so much for listening.